Afonso Dhlakama's reign of terror and the money behind RENAMO. Afonso Dhlakama, who died at the age of 65, was the leader and face of RENAMO, the Mozambican national resistance movement, for a long time. Dhlakama was an agent of white supremacist governments in southern Africa. He was backed by the then colonial Rhodesia and used to destabilize the RENAMO government, which supported black Zimbabwe liberation fighters. After Zimbabwe's independence in 1980, RENAMO formed alliances with South Africa's apartheid regime, which supplied it with arms. Dhlakama and RENAMO fought the constitutional RENAMO government from 1977 to 1992, and more than 1 million people were killed during the 16-year civil war. In a 2015 interview with the Lusa news agency, Dhlakama argued that civil war in Mozambique was justified because of RENAMO's betrayal of independence. He further argued that if it were not for the arrogance of Samora Machel, the first Mozambican president, RENAMO's cruel behavior would be no physical force for a civil war. The faulty logic in Dhlakama's reasoning is that he was supported by the white supremacist governments of Rhodesia and South Africa. He could have been fighting for black people. How could he have been fighting for black people when he received support from people who were intentionally oppressing black people? How did Dhlakama get away with killing more than 1 million people and the world would not care? The answer lies in those who funded him, who made sure that as long as Dhlakama annihilated Africans, they would keep him out of the ICC by pretending that the mass graves around Mozambique did not exist. On March 16, 1984, Mozambique signed a special treaty with the apartheid government of South Africa, known as the Nkomati Agreement. Mozambique promised not to allow the ANC African National Congress or any South African liberation movements to operate within its borders. In exchange, South Africa, the then apartheid South Africa government, would stop supporting RENAMO rebels. Mozambique honored the agreement and most ANC fighters left Mozambique. On the other hand, the apartheid government of South Africa reneged on the agreement and continued to supply, arm and support RENAMO. South Africa's support of RENAMO was part of their greater strategy to destabilize and weaken independent states in the region of Southern Africa. RENAMO also received additional funding and support from white supremacists in the United States, such as the former Senator Jesse Helms. Senator Jesse Helms, the so-called good Christian man who fought the Reagan administration when it attempted to brand RENAMO a terrorist organization. Senators Bob Dole and Jesse Helms lobbied the Reagan administration to funnel more aid to Mozambique through RENAMO, which was a highly unusual way of providing aid to a country. Dhlakama had no respect for property rights and yet claimed to support capitalism. He lost every election that he was a part of and then resorted to violence and genocide to strong-arm his way to political power and yet claimed that he believed in democracy. All the while, Dhlakama was supported by the US government and by the apartheid South Africa regime. Throughout Dhlakama's life, he never did anything to promote a capitalist environment that he so espoused, leading many who knew him well to state that he was an insurgent without a cause. The economic trail of destruction and human trail of destruction inflicted by Dhlakama ensured that Mozambique would struggle to develop its infrastructure. Dhlakama destroyed all transportation networks such as roads and railroads to ensure that no commerce would take place in his country. As late as 2013, Dhlakama was still sponsoring violence in Mozambique's Manica province. The Mozambican government was still negotiating with RENAMO to disarm at the time of his